on the screen, but only one will have a gift inside. The presents will get shuffled up, but you have to keep your eye on the one with the gift. Shout yes if you think you can do it. All right, here we go. Okay, shout out 1, 2, or 3 if you think you know which box has the gift. Great job, everyone!
Testing 1, 2. Sanctuary, channel 5. Channel 5 in the sanctuary. Meaning? Yeah, I mean, you can see even if I switch here, it doesn't do anything over there for level. You mean it's not set to auto follow? No, it doesn't seem to be. Because even when I'm on the camera, you just turn the... Yes, it should, but it doesn't. Didn't yesterday. Right, that's the one labeled OBS with the big green arrow next to it. Yeah, there's no adjustment here. So auto follow is off on everything. In a manner of speaking, I would say yes. Streaming.
What are you trying to find?
My brain.
Oh, okay. I'll get the microscope out.
So I was running my mouth a bunch. So there should be some good sound on the beginning of the stream there, but should see some, I switched to the camera, the pulpit camera.
It's quiet, but I hear it.
So you feel like it needs to be a little bit louder?
Yeah, I mean, my volume's all the way up on this computer.
Okay. Guess we'll try the mic. Oh, you got it. Testing 1, 2. Let's go back to OBS here and see. I don't know that I was, well, it's probably too much now. But, so, it does sound like it's coming back through again, doesn't it? So I wonder if that has something to do with, because this should not affect what we hear in the room. This is just an output gain, so why would this be affecting what we hear through the speakers in here? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Right. Well, the one output we know for sure is probably, but I mean it shouldn't.
Look at the video sample from that.
Right. It could be 1, 2, 1, 2. Turn it way back up again. Well, we're on the wrong one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I have the compressor on too now, but 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's feeding back through from the audio in on the Roland, coming back out. Yeah, this is just bad workflow, but
Yes.
we can help fix that. But this should be good. I mean, this is getting plenty of level here. And added some gain on the output, so
It was quiet, but it.
Oh, I know it now.
Oh, is it?
1, 2, 1, 2.
I think so. It didn't stop it.
Can we, now, is that just that mic that's doing that level?
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. I'm at the lectern A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The General Assemblies of 1980 and 1983 directed that a hymnal be developed using inclusive language and sensitive to the diverse nature of the church. The program agency and the General Assembly Mission Board responded by creating a hymn book committee of 18 persons reflecting the breadth and diversity of the church. The group included hymnologists, I want that title, and professional musicians. Members of the committee, which was established in accordance with General Assembly guidelines, were from small and large churches and represented the ethnic diversity of the denomination. They sought to affirm the centrality of the sacraments, ecumenical and mission dimensions, the perspectives of women, and the concerns of youth and age. You want me to keep reading? The committee began its work in April 1985 and concluded the selection process in July 1989. Members of the Theology and Worship Unit present at the final meeting approved the hymnal committee's work and commend the Presbyterian hymnal, hymns, psalms, and spiritual songs to the church at large. 17 meetings were held, along with countless subcommittee meetings. The locations reached across the church from San Francisco to Newark and from San Antonio to Pittsburgh. When schedules permitted, local forums were held so the committee could interpret its work as well as meet with and hear from Presbyterians of all viewpoints. Presbyterians live in a church and a world much changed since the hymn book 1955 and the worship book 1972 were published. Political, social, theological, cultural, and economic changes have brought a different day, a different constituency, and a different agenda to the church. In light of such developments, the committee made conscious efforts to recognize various racial and ethnic musical traditions in the church and to express them, taking into account their influence on past, present, and future hymnody. I don't know that word. Committee members consulted groups outside the committee who were asked to suggest music from their traditions. Members of racial and/or ethnic groups, African American, Asian, Native American, and Hispanic, brought hymns to the committee for discussion, referral to subcommittees, and possible inclusion. The committee also examined materials solicited and contributed from the gospel tradition from evangelical publications. The aim of the committee has been to provide a book for congregational singing with the expectation that all who use it may be enriched by hymns from gospel, evangelical, reformed, racial, and ethnic traditions in the church. May Presbyterians be renewed and revived in singing their faith, that worship may call the church in this day to obey Jesus Christ. As the Presbyterian Hymnal Committee began its work in the spring of 1985, the immediate task was to develop a rationale for choosing the hymns that would be included in the collection. The committee was determined, excuse me one second here. All right, I'm back. The committee was determined not to perform this task in a vacuum. Through the use of a brief questionnaire, it sought to reach as many persons across the church as possible. Replies as to what the church wanted in a hymnal came in by the hundreds and were carefully reviewed. This process contributed to the development of a survey for Presbyterian panel members and church musicians. In addition, questions were asked of racial and ethnic churches. As anticipated, the panel brought significant data to the committee. As a result of this information, the committee adopted working guidelines which have served to assure that the hymnal is singable and playable, includes 600 hymns, psalms, and spiritual songs, and some service music, hymns old and new, traditional and contemporary, ethnically diverse, and offering expressions of faith, both corporate and individual. Includes hymns relating to Reformed doctrines, the lectionary, seasons of the church year, sacraments, ordinances, and the ministry and mission of the church. embraces the diversity of our historical traditions while providing a prophetic vision for the future, expresses a full range of biblical images for the persons of the Trinity, is inclusive of all God's people, sensitive to age, race, gender, physical limitations, and language, has a complete set of indexes to help for leaders, as helps for leaders and participants in worship. The next step in the process was to develop a list of hymns from the two most recent Presbyterian collections, the Worship Book from 1972 and the Hymn Book from 1955. To this core were added the Hymn Society of America's hymns recommended for ecumenical use. The two major subcommittees, music and text, separately reviewed each suggested hymn, made revisions when needed to comply with the guidelines, and brought recommendations to the full committee for discussion and
So where this is set right now is where we want it to be for Sunday.
One, two.